What is going on? Gun is Live, coming at you with another Clash Royale video here on my channel. It's been a few weeks since I uploaded Clash gameplay for the simple reason that the screen recording software that I used to record the game on my phone had not been working. Anyways, last night I went ahead and re-downloaded the software and it appears that it's working once again. So I did a best of 3 series, which you're going to be watching right here, right now in this video, against my friend Walna. So this first battle, I'm using the deck that I typically use whenever I had been playing the game quite a bit. Initially, Walnut pushed with a Hog Rider and Ice Spirit. I was able to counter the attack with a Giant, the 3 minions, Valkyrie, and the Miner. They're going to push up and take this left tower out early on in the battle, so a very good counter push by me. And at this point I was thinking, dang, I still got the skills here in this game. Let's see if we can push to the King Tower and get that 3 crown victory. So instead of pushing the right tower or the King Tower right away, I'm just going to hold on for just a moment, wait for Walnut to drop some more troops down, and then do another counter push. I mean, it makes sense, right? I got 1 tower down because of a counter push off the start of the game, so let's be patient here, and then we can do a counter push once again. So here, he's going to push with the Hog Rider and the Miner. I'm going to go ahead and drop down a Valkyrie and some Goblins in order to take out both of those troops. Now, I do lose this left tower at my base, but I do still have troops pushing on towards his base. Now, I got kind of lucky there that he did use the zap spell against the Goblins, because that allowed me to drop down the minions without having to worry about them getting zapped. So I'm going to take out the troops that he's dropping down on the battlefield right now, and then I'm going to do quite a bit of damage to the King Tower with my Valkyrie. I thought about dropping the Hog Rider to help out the Valkyrie, but I was like, no, you know what, I'm just going to drop the Hog Rider on the right, let the Valkyrie keep going to the King Tower, and I'm going to take quite a bit of damage off both of these towers because the troops had the rage spell, and then later on in the battle I could push whichever tower I need to in order to try to get myself a victory. So right now I have a pretty solid lead. I'm going to go ahead and drop down this Giant in order to tank for the Valkyrie. I'm seeing that troops are getting dropped near the middle of the map for him, so I'm going to go ahead and now push the King Tower with my Miner, a few Goblins, and then my Hog Rider. Using the rage spell gives them a damage boost, and just like that, I'm going to come away with the victory here in the first Clash battle. So we're going to go ahead, like I said, do a best of 3 series. Both of us changed up our decks, and now it's time to hop into battle number 2. So as you can see, yes, the battlefield is a little bit different now. Now we're on the Frozen Peaks map, but it's all good. I didn't really know what I wanted to do here in the second battle as far as troops go. I kind of just put like some random troops on, and I was just going to run with it because this isn't the deck that I would typically use, and you're going to see what happens as the battle progresses. But off the rip here, I'm taking a lot of damage on my left tower, and I wasn't able to really mount a counter push that did a lot of damage to his towers at all throughout this game here in the second battle. So my troops are going to get fireballed. Unfortunately, man, this mini P.E.K.K.A is going to do a lot of damage to my Hog Rider and Miner. Therefore, I'm not able to do a lot of damage to his left-hand tower, and now he's basically countering my push. So I did a bad job countering his first push. He's going to do a good job countering my first push now, and just like that, I'm going to go down in the match by a tower. Something about the mini P.E.K.K.A is that whenever I'm playing against it, I feel like the mini P.E.K.K.A is the strongest troop in the game, but whenever I use it in my deck, for some reason I just don't have a whole lot of success with it, and I'm not sure what the deal is. Whenever I have it in my deck, it feels like whenever I use it, my opponent has a lot of individual troops like the skeletons or the goblins, and then if I have like arrows or if I have a zap spell or a fireball, it just seems like by the time I get it shot off, that my mini P.E.K.K.A has already been taken out. But then whenever I'm playing against it, it's the exact opposite. I'm like, dang, here we go again with the mini P.E.K.K.A. Let's try to take this thing out. So I didn't have the Spirit Goblins in my deck yet, but I did have the Hog Rider, Miner, and Baby Dragon. So I'm going to try to do another push on the left-hand side, and once again, it's going to get stopped. I haven't even taken that left tower down to below 50% health points. So at this point, I'm thinking, you know, maybe I need to get these Goblins down in order to guard the Hog Rider so I can do damage to that left tower. But as you can see, for some reason, I dropped the Goblins down without waiting for the Hog Rider, and then they did get zapped. One of Walnut's favorite spells is that zap spell. He takes out my Goblins quite a bit, so if we ever battle again, I'm going to have to remember that and maybe put on some different troops that won't get taken out so easily by that spell. Anyways, he's making a pretty strong push towards my tower now. I'm going to go ahead and drop down the poison. It's been a while since I played this game, like I said, and I did not know that the poison spell no longer slows troops down. So he actually told me that last night. The poison spell still deals damage to troops, but I guess it doesn't slow down their attacking speed or movement speed. Whatever it used to do, it doesn't do like the same exact thing anymore. So I'm probably not going to be using the poison spell anymore here in Clash Royale, at least for the time being. Now, as you can see in the top right hand corner of the screen from my phone, about 10 seconds left in the game. I have a decent push here on the left and also on the right. So I started thinking, you know, maybe I can get this comeback win and get a 2 crown to 1 crown victory, but time is up running out and he had a bunch of troops in my base anyway, so I did end up losing this game. So at this point, for the best of 3 series, we are tied 1-1. Now for this third battle, rather than just picking random decks, he wanted to do what's called a spawner battle. I think that's what he said is called, a spawner battle. So basically what that means is you have the buildings in your deck that spawn troops, like the barbarian hut, and then the skeleton spawner, the goblin hut, and then the fire spirit furnace. I'm dropping it down on the battlefield right now, but basically you have those 4 cards in your deck, and then your other 4 cards can be anything that's like defensive or spell related, or even the mirror. So if I had to do this battle again, I would have mixed up the 4 cards that I could have selected, and I definitely would have chosen one that shoots like a fireball or the rocket or the arrows to the enemy's base, because he had the rocket in his deck and it was really effective against my towers as well as the huts that I ended up dropping down. So at this point, see that rocket coming in, it's going to take out 2 of my buildings on the left hand side, so they're no longer spawning troops. It's basically like I can't do any more damage to his towers until I get more buildings down on the battlefield. I probably would use the bomber tower again. I just dropped it down near the right tower at my base, because the bomber tower is going to be able to take out those goblins pretty easily, and then also whenever his fire spirits were coming across, the tower was able to take them out pretty easy as well. So I would probably take off the Tesla tower that you see in my deck right now and put on either the fireball or the rocket, and then I might even take off one of my other cards that I got to select and put on the elixir pump. That way I can just create a better elixir advantage for myself. So if I had to make those changes, that's what I would do. Pretty much this entire game, I couldn't mount a push. It felt like I was playing very defensive. Now this game does take a while, or I should say this battle type does take a while, just because you constantly have to get buildings down on your side of the map, and then the troops have to push up, and you're basically building up a bunch of ground troops over and over. And once you get a strong push, you can either take out the tower, or if you're unlucky, then you'll get fireballed, rocketed, or arrowed. So that's one of the reasons that I would change my deck in this battle, because I didn't have the fireball or the rocket to counter. Once he had a large group of troops together, all I really had was the bomber tower, but that only affects troops on my side of the map, and the zap spell, like, it's decent, but it doesn't have that big of an effective attack or damage area. So at this point, you can see I have 2 barbarian huts at the back right side of my base, so they're spawning barbarians constantly on the right side until they get rocketed right now. And at that point, I'm like, wow, now I don't have any push down the right hand side, and you can see all the buildings on his side, so that's the side that he's pushing down with a strong attacking force. I do have some troops pushing the left side of the map, but they're not doing a whole lot of damage. So look at the hit points on my towers. I have 1,497 and then 666, and then look at both of his towers. He has over 2,000 on each of them. So at this point, I'm playing a very defensive match. I have a feeling I'm not going to be able to launch a counter push or anything like that, so I'm just like, you know what, let's get these troops down on the field as quick as possible. Let me go ahead and put down these fire spirits, and let's just try to hold out for the entire 2.5 minutes, so maybe we can tie. I can rearrange my deck, and then we can do another battle. But unfortunately, eventually I'm going to get run over as his troops mount up on the right hand side of the battlefield. They're just going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and I want to say his troops get my tower damage down far enough that he can just shoot a rocket over and destroy my tower, if I remember correctly. So there comes the rocket. The tower is now at 23 hit points. All I have is some fire spirits spawning, some skeletons spawning, so I go ahead and drop down this Tesla. The Tesla, though, is only going to be able to do damage to 1 troop at a time. as opposed to the bomber tower, which would be able to do splash damage. And here comes the final rocket, and just like that, I end up losing the best of 3 series. I mean, I guess technically we're tied 1-1, and then this was the first time I'd ever done one of those spawner battles, so I would probably change my deck up again if we do another battle like that. But anyways, that's gonna do it for now. Clash Royale here on my channel once again. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. New videos every single day here on my channel. I'm gonna live. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the live stream later tonight for another video.
Don't tell me that this isn't real. Don't tell me this ain't how I feel. This is all I have, all I have. All I ever wanted was somebody to get this. All I ever wanted was somebody to play this. Yeah, take my song, put it on they play, and get goosebumps every time they play it. Wait, this my